I'm drinking beers. I'm sitting in my basement. We're about to talk fights.
Hell yeah.
Fun
UFC
time, buddy.
251 coming up tomorrow. We are recording this on a Thursday, but this episode's coming out on a Friday. And me and Tim are big MMA fans. I have been.
It's the podcast.
It's the podcast, sir.
Hence the podcast.
I've actually been to a few UFC events, so you guys can get to know us while you're watching this. I was at UFC 203, and then also I was at UFC 210, and I'll post pictures from UFC 210 on our Instagram if you want to go to that. And Tim has trained. How long have you been training martial arts?
Dude, I haven't trained in a long time. I'm not going to even pretend like I do it anymore.
Okay.
I haven't in a long time. But I did for like a year or two, maybe casually. Like anyone that has trained with me is going to say Danko doesn't know shit, which is true. I really don't know shit. I knew just enough to be like, you know what? I'm going to get in the cage one time and act like a jackass and pretend like I knew what I was doing. That's about it, man. But I've been following it a long time, man. I've been really into it maybe about 10 years or so since my buddy started fighting. And I haven't been to one UFC. I've been to a Bellator card. I've been to tons of local events. When those start happening again, we'll definitely talk about those. But, yeah, a bunch of local ones, one Bellator card. And, I don't miss many pay-per-views, though, man. I'm excited for tomorrow, Saturday.
Saturday is going to be a fantastic card. I'm amazed at how this thing came together more than I am like the fact that it's happening and Fight Island is a real thing. It's more the main event that I go, holy shit, this was able to be done that quickly. Get everybody
days,
tested.
Right?
Dude, it's
6
nuts.
days.
6
Right.
Oh, continue.
Yeah. No, I'll say we're gonna talk about that, man. The original main event was Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns, his training partner, right? And Gilbert Burns gets the COVID-19. He gets a positive for COVID-19 apparently, and he's out. So a week before the fight, your main event, even though there's 3 title fights, still a good card, but your main event, Usman, looks like he's out. However, Game Bread, Jorge Masvidal, Street Jesus, gets the call, gets his ducats. Even he'd been holding out because he wants some more paper. And last minute fight, they're like, all right, we'll give you closer to what you want. Here's your ducats. So he's going 5 days notice from Florida to Abu Dhabi, where Fight Island is, to do this fight. And it's the fight everyone wanted to see to begin with, man. I'm much more excited for this than I was for the Burns fight, even though it's short notice, man. Masvidal, Usman, pumped as hell, dude.
Dude, I cannot wait for this fight. This is this fight to me, like, this is a culmination of a lot of things, especially in the welterweight division. I had to look at that for a second because I'm high, everybody. Yeah. But in the welterweight division, I mean, this fight is something that, like, we'll be telling our kids about this fight for decades. Like, this is going to be one of those fights where nobody will forget. Whoever puts money down for this fight is getting probably one of the best once-in-a-lifetime experiences you can ever see, which is, one, they're going to be fighting on a beach, which is epic. 2, you got a guy in Masvidal who just came off of probably one of his biggest career wins ever, winning that BMF belt against, and decisively. I mean, I was kind of angry they stopped it, but he beat Nate Diaz via referee stoppage and just pounded the fuck out of him for, 15 or 20 straight minutes almost. And
it was a bummer. The stoppage was a bummer because he had that cut, right?
Yeah,
he was winning that fight decisively. So,
oh yeah, Masvidal was definitely ahead on the cards anyway, but at the same time, it was a fight that nobody can really, say didn't have a definitive finish, and the way he did it, earned this title fight. I mean, there's, without a doubt, nobody had, in my opinion, nobody earned a title fight more after a win like Jorge Masvidal, because of the fact that he's been fighting. He goes back to the old street fight days of Kimbo Slice, when those videos would go on YouTube.
Right, man. I just watched his fight with that Ray guy.
I know.
R-E-Y.
I know. It's funny to me that, like, he beat up a dude named Ray in a backyard of Florida. And you're just like, oh yes, this is so satisfying, man.
Yeah, man. No, I was just gonna say, Masvidal, a journeyman for a long time, man, but he's put it together ever since he moved up to like 170 in the last year or two, especially. I think it was maybe 2017. I can't remember, but when he lost Stephen Thompson, that was his last loss. But since then, he knocked out Darren Till as a big underdog. He knocked out Ben Askren as a big underdog. Then he beat up Diaz. So those are three monsters he beat. So, of course, he's going to be the guy to get the shot. And originally, he was the guy before Burns they wanted to give it to. But like we said, there's contract issues. I don't blame him for it. I don't blame anyone to try to get their ducats, man. But because this fight fell through and it's 5 days notice, they're like, okay, we'll give you closer to what you want to come save this card, quote unquote, save this card. And, man, I'm excited as hell, man. They're both killers.
Oh, yeah, dude. And especially, I mean, Kamaru Usman coming off of the big win against Tyron Woodley to get the belt, and then to go up against Mr. MAGA out of nowhere and, like, just break his jaw. He broke his fucking jaw, dude.
Watch that fight again. Great fight.
I'm gonna rewatch that probably before the fight, before the fights on Saturday, and I'm very excited to see what this powder keg of a main event is gonna be, man, because both these guys, there's a video that I just watched on Facebook a couple weeks ago of the first interaction between Jorge Masvidal and Kamaru Usman, where Masvidal is just looking him dead in the face, telling him he's a bitch, all these kind of things. And Usman's getting worked up, man. And that's going to be a thing that, you know, as the rounds go on, it's going to be shit talk after shit talk.
Right.
And I got Masvidal.
Really?
Yeah, I got Masvidal.
If we're doing picks right now, I'm going to go with Usman. And I was going to say the animosity.
I meant on the mental war. I meant on the mental war.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying now. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say the animosity between these guys, it's real. Like, there's some guys like, I don't know, with Chael Sonnen would talk shit about everybody. He didn't really hate anybody. He's just selling a fight, and he's better at it than anyone, right? But these guys legitimately don't like each other, which is great. And then Jorge Masvidal is one of those guys that I would actually be afraid of. Like, if he was crossing the street, if we were walking down the same sidewalk, I'd cross the street if he was coming my way, because I'm actually afraid of him. Like, I feel like if he's having a bad day, he might punch a stranger. I don't think he really would, but I'm saying he's a scary dude.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that makes him so exciting. And as he said he's going to, what he likes to say, he's going to baptize.
Yeah.
Right? With his fist. And Usman said he's going to bless Masvidal with his fist. So we're both calling for knockouts, and it's fun. But honestly, I already gave away my pick. I'm picking Usman.
Okay.
Because the wrestling. He has the wrestling ability to possibly just ragdoll Masvidal for 5 rounds. That's my guess. What's going to happen? I'd love to see him stand and bang for the whole time. But I think if Usman wants to, he can just control it wrestling, which is what Askren was planning on doing. But Askren also got kneed in the face and put to sleep. So Usman's going to try to avoid that. And as long as he can avoid that, because I think both these guys could probably knock each other out. I don't think there's any doubt of that.
Oh, for sure.
But I think the more skillful guy, it's probably Usman, especially the wrestling, man. If you don't have that kind of wrestling, I guess the guy who does have that kind of wrestling, man, you're going to have a tough day. And not saying Masvidal doesn't have takedown defense, but Usman's tough, man. He's real tough. So that's why I got Usman. I'm really excited for the fight. And Masvidal's a big underdog, too. I think he's like a 3-1 underdog right now.
Let me look at the betting odds right here.
Close
do I have the betting odds? Let me see. I do not.
I think he was like plus 260 the last time I checked.
Yeah. And my thing is, like, I agree with you on the thing, but I am going to pick Masvidal just because he's literally on a tear right now, and he's laser focused for that title. He may have that BMF trophy, but he wants that gold, man.
The real one, man. It'd be fun if he wins, man. It would not bother me in the slightest, man, if he wins. Like, just because I'm guessing Usman doesn't mean I don't want Masvidal to win. Actually, I like them both, man. I just think it's going to be a good fight, and I'm excited for it, man. But I would not be surprised at all if Masvidal knocks his ass out, because I didn't think he'd knock out Askren. I didn't think he'd knock out Till.
See, I thought he was gonna. I thought he was gonna knock out Askren just because of how quick and how smart he is with his striking. You do bring up the point of the grappling, though. Like, there was couple years ago, I think it was him, Masvidal and Showtime did a grappling match. It was in a ring. They had all kind of, they had like a ring set up for it and everything. And Showtime was kind of getting Masvidal on the ground, but Jorge was able to his jiu-jitsu was good enough where he was kind of able to get to top position on Anthony Pettis. But I do think that Kamaru Usman, if this goes to the ground, will win this. But I'm going to say it right now. Street Jesus is my guy for the main event, just because even though I think this is going to at least go 4 rounds, and it's going to go to at least a TKO or KO situation if it goes to the 4th round. If Usman gets him down, it may be over in the 1st. We don't know. I mean, that's the thing. But I don't see that. I see this at least going 4 rounds. Like, this has to go 4 rounds.
Yeah. I'm going to guess decision.
Okay.
I'm just going to take a guess decision. I think that was one